As soon as she's inside, Mary says, "I am Mary of Joachim and Anne from Nazareth. I am your master's cousin." The man bows down and welcomes her. He then calls out in a loud voice, "Sarah, Sarah!" He opens the gate again to let in the donkey that had been left outside. Mary, in fact, to get rid of the persistent little woman, had slipped inside very quickly, and the gardener just as quickly had closed the gate in the face of the gossip. And while taking the donkey in, he exclaims, "Oh, what a great happiness, and what an upheaval to this household! Heaven has granted a child to the barren one. May the Most High be blessed." But 7 months ago, Zacharias came back dumb from Jerusalem. He now makes himself understood by gestures or by writing. Perhaps you already know. My landlady has longed so much for you in this joy and in this travail. She always spoke to Sarah about you, and she would say, "If only I had little Mary with me. I wish she were still in the temple. I would send Zacharias to fetch her." But now the Lord wanted her married to Joseph of Nazareth. She's the only one who can comfort me in my pain and help me to pray to God, because she is so good. And they all miss her in the temple. On the last feast day, the last time I went to Jerusalem with Zacharias to thank the Lord for the child he's given me, her teacher said to me, "The temple seems to be without the cherubim of the glory since Mary's voice is no longer heard inside the walls." He then shouts again, "Sarah, Sarah!" My wife is a little deaf, but come please, I'll show you the way. Instead of Sarah, a fairly old woman appears at the top of the staircase on one side of the house. Her face is all wrinkles, and her hair is very grey. It must have been very black at one time, because her eyelashes and eyebrows are still very dark, and also, from the colour of her face, one can tell that she was swarthy. Her present, very obvious pregnant condition is a strange contradiction to her evident old age, notwithstanding her wide and loose dress. She looks down, shading her eyes with her hand. As soon as she recognises Mary, she raises her arms to the sky and utters an "oh" of joy and surprise. She then rushes as fast as she can towards Mary. Also Mary, who always moves very quietly, now runs as swift as a little deer and reaches the foot of the staircase at the same time as Elizabeth. And she embraces, with great affection, her cousin who is crying with joy at seeing her. They remain embraced for an instant, and then Elizabeth detaches herself, exclaiming, "Ah!" an exclamation of mingled joy and sorrow, and she places her hands on her enlarged abdomen. She bows her face and turns red and pale, alternately. Mary and the servant hold out their hands to support her, because she staggers as if she were unwell. But Elizabeth, after a moment of concentration, lifts her face, which is now so bright that she looks much younger. She then looks at Mary with evident veneration, as if she sees an angel. She bows in a deep salutation, exclaiming, "You are blessed amongst all women. Blessed is the fruit of your womb." She says exactly that, 2 clearly separate sentences. How did I deserve that the mother of my Lord should come to me, your servant? There, at the sound of your voice, the child leapt out of joy in my womb. And when I embraced you, the Spirit of the Lord whispered deepest truths to my heart. You are blessed, because you believe that it was possible for God also what does not appear possible to the human mind. You are blessed, because by your faith you will accomplish the things the Lord predicted to you, and the prophets foretold it for our times. You are blessed for the salvation you've brought to the house of Jacob. You are blessed for the holiness you've brought to my Son, whom I feel leaping with joy like a happy little kid in my womb, because he feels free from the burden of guilt and is called to be the predecessor, sanctified before redemption by the Holy One who is growing within you. Just pause for a moment there. The Catholic Church has long had a teaching, a tradition that St. John the Baptist was sanctified in the womb of St. Elizabeth when the Blessed Virgin Mary attended St. Elizabeth's house. Mary is the Immaculate Conception, but John the Baptist, that is, St. John the Baptist, is made free from original sin in the womb. We, ordinary mortals, are made free of original sin at our baptism, ideally when we are babies, but if we're converts, then later. So St. John the Baptist is, one might say, pre-sanctified. And St. Elizabeth here is attesting to that, and you'll note that she's saying that she learnt about Mary and what is in her womb from the Spirit of the Lord, when she embraced the Blessed Virgin. At that moment, the Spirit of the Lord whispered deepest truths to my heart. So St. Elizabeth became a prophetess at that point, for that moment.